Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment. I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment. So this week I am going to start, and I'm going to start with a show on AMC called Parish. Yes, Parish. And so it is because it is the story of Gray Parish, or Grayson Parish, but they never call him Grayson. It's always Gray Parish. So anyway, it stars my boo, Giancarlo.
Not your boo.
Esposito. I only say that because I met him in person.
I never.
It's like, well, because I met him in person, he'll be my boo.
Okay.
Yes. And so Mr. Hispanic and Italiano combined.
Yeah.
And so, so he is great in this, of course. His wife on the show is played by Paula Malcolmson, and it is, she plays a character named Rose. You have his daughter is Arca Himmel, and she plays Michaela Parish. His son is Caleb Bauman, who is Maddox Parish. And then you have just a cast of other characters, like his best friend is Colin, who's played by Skeet Ulrich. You have somebody named Bonnie Mobili, who plays Sasmo. You have Zachary Moham, who plays the horse, and his brother. So this is brothers and sisters. And then you have Ivan Imdokap, who plays Zinzo. And so basically I'm naming those characters because an element of this has like a Nigerian kind of twist to it. And so basically, long story. Oh, and Amanda Burgle is in it, as well as Sister Ann. And you've seen her in a lot of different movies and TV shows. She's been in, if you think of The Handmaid's Tale, and the person who was the one who kept the house, she didn't have to be a handmaid. She was the one in the gray who could, just like take care of the house and the dishes and all that kind of stuff. That's her. And she's been in a ton of other things. So anyway, going to the storyline. So it is the story of Gray. And at the beginning of the show, he gets pulled over by the police in New Orleans. And as the police approach the car, they tell him, keep your hands on the steering wheel. They're quite aggressive, I think, because they assume he's, a black man, Hispanic man, whatever, and they don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. And
so based on that, he takes off. So it's like, oh, well, I mean, not that he was going to do anything to them, but their guns were drawn. They were, coming after him fast and furious. And it looked like an episode of Fast and Furious or a movie because they were whipping around in the city. They're in New Orleans. And so based on that, what ends up happening is they come across this parade. And so, they're kind of trying to weave through the parade. Can he get through the parade before the cops do? So then the parade kind of covers the road after him, all those things. He maneuvers. He is like, I guess it's like, what was the name of that movie? Baby Driver or something?
Baby Driver,
how he was just like, you hit certain things and you do this and you hit up the brake and blah, blah, blah. So he knew all these different maneuvers and things like that. And so basically he dumps the car, gets into a different car, and then he goes home and he cuts to him being a father and a husband. And you're like, okay, that's kind of, tragic. And I mean, not tragic, like it's just crazy that it just happened that fast. So then you find out that he is a professional driver. He owns his own business, but he also in his former life was like a heist driver. You know what I mean? Like whenever somebody had a heist or something like that.
Yeah, so
that's
it's just
what
like
he was.
Baby Driver.
Yeah, so that's kind of what his history was. You don't know if his family knows that was his history, but that's his history. And so one of his former colleagues just gets out of prison and he's asking them to help him with one last job, which of course Gray's response is, I've given that life up. I can't do that life anymore. Actually, Gray, if he gets back into the life, it's almost like he got off. You know how you like join a gang and they always say, well, you can't ever get out the gang.
Yeah, blood in, blood out.
Yeah. So what happens with this is that they're like, look, somehow he got out, and the powers that be in the, world of corruption and thievery have said, if Gray comes back in, we gonna get them. Like, so you're out, you better stay out.
Yeah,
if you ever
come back in, then we gotta take you out.
Yeah, we gotta have everybody trying to take you out. So therefore, when his friend is asking him to kind of help out, he's like, I don't know about that. I don't think I can do that. But also he has a tragedy that has happened in his life. Mm-hmm. And so based on that, like, different things have happened to the point like the house is in foreclosure almost, and they got to figure out if they're going to sell it. He doesn't want to sell it because of just, memories and different things. And then the wife is like, but we can't afford to live in this house anymore. And so that's creating drama between him and his wife. The daughter is just like, why are y'all even here? Like, it's just like a lot of, she's just got like her headphones in all the time and is being like a typical like teenager kind of situation. And I don't even know if she's in her early 20s or a teenager, but I think she's a teenager officially. Yeah, I think she is. So anyway, long story short, I think he realizes, you know what? I am going to have to do this one last job. And in the process of doing that, child, so many things. Child. I know, so many things unfold. I mean, like I said, you have entanglements with with Horse and his family, and they are people who are really into human trafficking. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how does human trafficking play into this? And then they have one episode that specifically speaks to the trickery of human trafficking, how you can bring people from Africa into the United States and tell them, oh, we're going to give you this. We're all about getting you money and da-da-da, and then how the tables turn and how everything flips. And they're just stuck because they already took their passports. They already got, you know what I mean? They don't have anything. And so it goes into that whole storyline. It goes
People, when you travel, keep your passport.
Yeah, keep your passport for sure. It goes into just a lot of different things. You have an antagonist who is the main guy in New Orleans who everybody knows, and he's the one who is involved with the trafficking, but he's also trying to kill some of the traffickers, so you're just like, oh my goodness. So, it's like that main character who everybody feels like, oh, this is a, upstanding political figure, but then he's the one who's like behind the scenes doing a whole bunch of different things. You also realize that there's some animosity within that human trafficking family where one person might have one agenda and other people have other agendas, but guess what? They all scared of daddy. Baba, you don't mess with Baba. Okay. So Baba be calling some shots, and some of his shots. Baba is calling some shots from Africa, and the shots he calls, you're just like, no, he didn't. No, he did not call for that to happen.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, like it's a mess. So anyway, I've personally really enjoyed watching Parish. I haven't finished it yet. The seeds. It was like one of those things. Of course, it's AMC, so it comes out one episode after the next, and so I had watched all of it up until I went on vacation, and then I didn't catch up since I've been back from vacation. So I need a lot of catching up to do because I've heard the series is now over. They've already been renewed for a second season, and I really, really enjoyed it. It has a lot of different storylines. Him and his best friend, him dealing with Horse, him dealing with his wife, his daughter.
You said Horse?
Horse.
Oh, okay.
The guy, the African mobster's name is Horse.
Okay, this was like, wait, what? You just smoothed right over that. Okay.
No, Horse. And then, so it's a lot of different layers to the storyline, and they all go in so many different directions. But then funny enough, they start to like intertwine and start to connect. So that is Parish on AMC. And if you don't have AMC to watch it, you would have to do AMC Plus. But if you have Sling TV and probably Hulu, I didn't look at Hulu Live, but if you have Hulu, the upgraded version, you probably can watch it there on demand. So there you go, because I watched it on Sling TV on demand. So there you are. What do you have, sis?
Okay, so I want to talk about the Hunger Games. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Yes, it's a new Hunger Games that is out, and it is on Stars.
Did not know there was a new one out.
With a Z. Stars. Yes, so the new Hunger Games is actually taking place in the beginning. Okay. So this is the original Hunger Games. So for the cast, you have Rachel Zegler,
Okay.
who plays the main character, who is Lucy Gray. Lucy Gray actually is the tribute from District 12, where Katniss Everdeen is from.
Oh.
Okay. So then you have Tom Bluth, or Blythe. No, Tom Blythe. Tom Blythe plays, gosh, I don't even know how to say his name, but it's that name. The Sutherland dude. What is the Sutherland dude? Not Kiefer. What's his dad's name? Donald Sutherland. Donald Sutherland's character and the other ones with Katniss Everdeen. He's playing a young him.
Oh, this is pre.
This
is pre-Hunger Games.
Coriolanus.
Okay, we'll take it.
Coriolanus.
We'll accept
Snow. Yes, he becomes the president later on.
Okay.
You have Viola Davis as Dr. Volunia Gall.
Okay.
Dr. Gall is what they call her. Let me see what else you have. You have Hunter Schafer as Tigris, which Tigris ends up being, I believe that is Elizabeth Banks' character.
Oh, okay.
They are cousins. So you have some other people in here. I don't really know some of these people, but it's not really people that you need to know. So what ends up happening with this one is it is the beginning of the Hunger Games. So you're following Corlo. I don't know what they call him. Corio. I think that's what they call him.
Yeah, I think that is the name. Yeah.
Snow. So it's the story from the first Hunger Games. So I read some things where it says like the 10th Hunger Games, but I thought this was the first Hunger Games ever to be done. But the future president of Pan Am is Snow, and he ends up losing his parents. So he's nowhere near president now.
Okay.
So as he loses his parents, then they fall into some hard times. And since once his mother had passed a while in childbirth, and then his father dies right when everything is falling apart. The war is over. They have a civil war. The war is over. So now I come to find out that how this all comes about is that the Civil War, actually the people in Pan Am who are rich are the winners. Everybody from the district are the losers.
Yeah.
So what did they decide to do? They decided to make the children suffer for what the parents did. So now all these children are being put into the first annual Hunger Games.
Gotcha.
That is another thing that I did want to say as far as the cast. So what is the guy's name? Stanley Tucci?
Oh, yeah.
Stanley Tucci, he's not in this, but they have another guy. But no, they have another.
No, it was funny that you said it like that.
No, Stanley Tucci, his character is what I'm going with. His character, it's a guy who looks like a young him, and I love how they do it, but I can't think of his name, and I don't see it on here.
Oh, it's all good.
Anyway, Peter Dinklage is in as well.
Okay.
But but this guy, I've seen him on a couple of different things. Like, you know him if you see him.
Did you put together that he looked like Stanley Tucci before seeing him play a young Stanley Tucci? Okay.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. He does look like a young Stanley Tucci.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't find his name
It's
right
okay.
now. Okay. But anyway, but he ends up being like, I'm going to be your presenter, and I'm also the weatherman. So then you'll see him, and he talks about the weather and everything while he's in this room with all of the people who are supposed to be part of Pan Am that are supposed to be, I guess, future mentors of the tributes. And he's showing, and then this is happening, and then back to you. And then he picks up the microphone. All right, so now back to the first annual Hunger Games, blah, 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 blah. And starts talking about stuff. So now that Snow's father has passed, they're on hard times. So the only family that he has is his cousin, Tigris, and his grandma that they call Grandma Ma'am.
Okay. Grandma Ma'am, yes. That's the only family he has. So because they've fallen on hard times since his father's died, now he's like, all right, I gotta figure out what I can do. And with Pan Am, he signed up to go and work for the mayor, the governor, or whoever. I can't remember exactly what he was. It was a mayor or governor. I think it's the mayor. But he ends up being the mentor for the tribute for
District 12. And like I said, the girl's name is Lucy. So with Lucy being that tribute,
Yeah.
when they call her up, she sachets up.
Sachet.
Yeah.
Shantae.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. So she sachets up, grabs the microphone, starts singing.
Oh, okay.
Actually, before she does that, she puts a snake in a girl's dress. But she does, yeah.
Okay.
She does start singing, and now people are like, oh my God. And now, Mr. Snow, Sea Snow is what I'm going to call him because I can't say Koyo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sea Snow is like, oh my God, she sings, she's beautiful, blah, 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 blah. So, basically, he's falling in love. Now he's like, she got to win. She can't die.
Mm-hmm.
She cannot die because we need to multiply. So when that happens, now people are starting to like her and people are loving her voice and people are clapping for her and everything. So what does he do? He goes and it's like, you know what we should do? Nothing's gonna be good for the Hunger Games unless I have this proposal.
Okay.
Dr. Gall says, all right, write up the proposal. Tell me what it is. And it is that the rich people should be able to give money. It's like a competition. So why can't the rich people give money to the poor to go ahead and let them be able to get stuff to get through further, because they're going to be betting on this. So if they're gambling on this, then why wouldn't they want to spend their extra money to make sure that this person wins and make sure that, this person, hey, if we don't like this person, then you can't put no money out towards them. Like, this is our person. So that's how the Hunger Games became so big, was because of Snow's idea. So he told Dr. Gall, he was like, nobody's just going to want to watch a whole bunch of peasants kill each other.
Yeah.
Make it fun. But as this is happening, and now that he's met Lucy Gray, he's like infatuated, and he's like, I'm going to help you win. I'm going to help you win. And now he starts to have a change of heart. Now with his change of heart, he's like, do I take care of my family? Do I take care of her?
Oh.
So now he's torn. And now he has a buddy who's there and who does not want to be there. And he's just like, yo, this guy who is who is my tribute.
Yeah.
I went to school with him.
Oh.
But my family has money, so we ended up winning the war and they did not.
Yep.
So now that guy starts to basically crumble because he's seeing all the things that are happening to this guy that was his it was his friend, his school friend, schoolmate.
Right.
So as he's starting to crumble, now he's like, oh, well, we can do something to change this. So now Mr. Snow and him come together and they're like, yeah, we can do things to change it. I can use daddy's money, blah, 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 blah. That was the whole point. And then from there, that's when it starts to get good. Like 1 minute they are working. 1 minute they are just there to be mentors. Next thing you know, now they are in District 12. Then they become little footmen. Then they get moved. So they get moved all around, but they have a punishment and all this other stuff that they have to go through. So it is. I like how it breaks it down. It brings in to where the name of the Mockingjay comes from. So different people call the Mockingjay two different things. Oh, because if you have money, you call it one thing. If you don't have money, you call it
something
Mockingjay.
else. Oh.
And it's explaining, it shows how the Mockingjays ended up working out for the good and the bad. It ends up showing how people will turn on you in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of rabies in it, a little bit of rabies.
Why not?
There are flying drones that can hurt you. There are a lot of things in here. But it is a good movie, and I do like it because if you watch the other ones, then you have the backstory of where it's all come from. So the Hanging Tree song that was in the movie, you get where the Hanging Tree song comes from. Lucy Gray sings it. Lucy Gray's song. Okay. Because she's singing to somebody to come and meet her at the Hanging Tree.
Got it. It's like Hold Door.
Yeah, like hold door. Exactly.
Like hold door. You put together something.
Yeah, you got to hold the door. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yes, the Hunger Games, the Ballad of the Song and Snakes. Oh, yeah, the Songbird and Snakes. Snakes are a big part of this. Like I told you, she put a snake down the girl's dress. There are some more snakes later on. There are snakes all throughout the thing.
Oh,
Mom cannot watch this.
No, definitely not.
Cannot. Even though they are some pretty snakes. They're like...
I think it would still be traumatic.
They're different colors. They're rainbow snakes. For pride, for your pride.
It is Pride Month.
It is Pride Month.
Yeah, there you go. Pride snakes.
Pride Month, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I had. The Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So check that out. It is on Stars.
Stars with a Z.
Stars.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I will turn it ratchet.
All right.
Now let me stop.
Leggy Ratchet, Leggy Ratchet.
I am going to talk about MILF Manor.
That is beyond
Season
Ratchet.
2.
That could possibly be a lawsuit.
No, y'all know that I talked about MILF Manor Season 1. It was amazing. It was about the women who were like 40s and 50s, probably close to 60 anyway. And so they were wanting to date the younger guys, right? And so what ended up happening is the younger guys showed up in Season 1, and guess what? The younger guys were their sons.
Yeah.
And the sons flipped the script and started dating other older women. So the moms who wanted to date younger guys had to date the younger guys of the other women in the house. So there was that dynamic, but also they had to watch their sons date the older women in the house.
Yeah.
So very strange.
That's just
dynamic. Well, Season 2, they had to flip the script again. Season 2 starts off with 5 women and 6 younger men show up. So the women are like, well, no, I'm sorry. It's 6 women, 5 younger men show up. That's what it is. Because the women were like, oh man, wait, hold on. We
short
don't have enough men. Like, this is bad. This isn't good. So that is what was going on. Then they have it where beautiful home. And they're in Canada. That's where they are.
Are they staying in the same house?
All of them are in the same house, right? They have a RILTF room or something, like room I'd like to something in.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So they have one of those rooms in the house, and then the rest of the house is just open, right, or something like that. They have some kind of room for activity. Okay. So anyway, what ends up happening?
So like a sex dungeon?
No, it's just a bedroom, but it's just
Mr.
like it's
Gray's
not anybody's room until something's going to happen.
Yeah, so you can use this room.
Yeah, anybody can use the room. I hope they change the sheets. So, so at the first episode, it is, like I said, 6 women. Most of them are mothers. Everybody's pretty much divorced. I think a couple may never have been married, you know, that kind of thing. Like, I just never found the right one. Or I was married for 20 something years and it just didn't work out.
Now, do they have
all of those things?
These women have children?
Some of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the men start coming and they're like, oh Lord, please don't let these be our sons. Like, please. And some of them, I don't even know if they had sons. So they were probably like, I don't think it can be our son. So anyway, it was not. They were recognizing the guys coming because where they were was on water. And so the boat comes and they were like, oh good, it's nobody's son. Is that anybody's son out there? Okay, good. Well, then we know this is in Season 1, right? So the first task after the guys and girls mingle, they said, okay, everybody change into your bathing suits. There's like a text message you get from one person. One person gets a text message and reads it to everybody saying, change into your bathing suits. First task is about to begin. Meet in the backyard. So they go to the backyard and there's I don't know what you want to call it, a huge jar. I was going to say barrel, but this huge jar of honey. And what you do is your task is to pour honey, or not pour, but like scoop up honey out of this big thing.
And rub it on their body.
Rub it on the person's body. The guys do the girls do the guys. Then you run to the other end of this yard, and then you scoop up the honey off of the person and slather it into another jar. And whichever jar has the most honey, those people get to go on a date, and they just mixed and matched the group. So it wasn't like you got to choose who you wanted to go on the date with. It was like, you are with this person, you're with this person, y'all do the task. And oh, by the way, now that the task is over, you pick who you want to go.
How old are these guys?
The guys are in their 20s.
Okay.
And the girls are in their 40s and 50s. And yeah, I don't think the oldest person is 59.
Okay.
Yeah. And she says, her quote for the show is, I don't want to date people my age because they're old and they smell. I don't smell. That's her quote for the show, is that she doesn't want to date men who smell. So that's why she wants the younger one. So you have
men
that.
Who smell.
So that
she has not been around 20-something-year-olds.
She doesn't mind that smell, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
So anyway, I think she's like the whole Asper cream and Bengay smell. She doesn't want that. The vapor rubs.
Yeah. Asper cream.
So then what ends up happening is that the women, they've interacted, they've engaged. Some people have had a first date because of the fact that they won the challenge. And so you see a few dynamics with the women. Like one woman, she's like the youngest of all of them. So some of the guys are more attracted to her. And so she's loving it and living it up. And other women are like, look, stay over there with your date. Don't be paying attention to mine. That kind of thing, So anyway, what ends up happening is at the end of the first episode, and it's probably, I think it's going to be like a 10 episode or more season. At the end of the first episode, all of a sudden a car pulls up. And everybody's like, "Ooh, who's that? What's going on? What's happening?" So the door opens because everybody's in the backyard, and the door opens, and all of a sudden, this group of 5 men walk in, and they're the fathers of the sons.
Oh,
twist! So that's the twist of the show. Is before it was the sons of the mothers. This time, it's fathers and sons competing for the same women in the house.
But
So
the
all
younger
of the
guys only want
fathers-
the young girl, right?
No, they've mixed it up. I mean, they some of them think she's the cutest, but they are very open to whatever. And the young one gets to make her decision. And if men are competitive, so if the young one, I think she's 45 or 46, but if she's just like, oh, I have my eyes on this person, then the other ones are like, well, I'm not just going to sit here and not talk to anybody. So let me go to the next cutest one. You know what I mean? So, and because of the competition part, it's kind of hilarious because the fathers come in, and the first thing the women are like at the end of the first episode is like, ooh, the fathers are cuter than the sons, this is interesting, So now they have 12 men to choose. I mean, 10 men to choose from instead of, just the 5. So now they know why they didn't just have, 6 and 6. So then what ends up happening throughout this season is just the interaction between, you get to see the father and son dynamic, like which fathers and sons are really close. Which, like, one son, when he saw his father, he was like, I ain't talked to him in 3 years. Like, what is happening? What is going on? But the father,
how did you get his information?
But the father didn't know the son was going to be there. The son didn't know that the father was going to be there. So therefore,
makes for
like,
good TV.
Makes for good TV. And when I tell you, this season, it had some tear-jerking moments. I was very surprised, because the son is like a quiet, shy person. Like, he's a cutie patootie, but he's like just quiet. I know, cutie patootie. But he's
Shout out to Rosie O'Donnell.
he's just shy, right? So when his father shows up, who he hasn't talked to in 3 years, he's just looking at it like, ugh. Oh my gosh. Like, I already was feeling nervous about trying to talk to these ladies. Now I got to do it in front of my father that I haven't talked to. Or I might be competing against my father for some of that. And then his father didn't even know how to address him and approach him. So his father's kind of timid, like just coming up to him. And throughout the season, they actually start talking. They actually work through some things and, it really was like, the son got to bear everything. He had never told his father how he felt about him, what he did, how he felt abandoned, how he felt like he wasn't there for him. And the father was apologizing and said, I absolutely should have done better. I didn't know how to do any better. But yes, we are going to start anew. And so it was really, really powerful in regards to those kind of scenes, and knowing that whether they left with love or not, they at least left with a amended relationship. So that was a good thing, And so then you have some father and son dynamics where they're like, this guy right here, he's my best friend. We do everything together. Like, he's my ride or die, and it's like all of that kind of stuff. But the father's like, yeah, I think you should go after these ladies. I mean, if you see something you want, you got to go get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's all that kind of stuff too. And then you have a British father and son in the mix, and how the different dynamics of British people are when they don't really show emotions as much, when they're more like,
Dottie. Hello,
right,
son.
exactly. And it's like, okay, if you got a guy who is like, oh, I'm gonna wine her and dine her and do this, but then you have a British guy who is like, well, I'm just more reserved than that. Like, my feelings are hurt. I'm sitting here watching you kissed me at lunch, and now you're making out in the jacuzzi with somebody else now, and I'm hurt. Like, they don't express their emotions, but they feel their emotions, kind of scenario. So it's that going on. It shows 2 women getting into it, into it. and one was a stripper.
Oh, is this over a man?
No, one was a stripper. The other one, you know, she was just like, I guess when the girl said she was a stripper, the other one was just like, oh, okay. And then I guess the girl was like, oh, so you're saying it like that? Like, what did it? And she was like, no, I'm just saying okay. And
so that's like Sterling K. Brown and J-Lo.
She just was like, yeah. So she just wouldn't let it go that she felt some kind, like, you feel some kind of way about the fact that I've been a stripper before. And the girl was like, no, I didn't feel any kind of way about that. You're making it seem like I felt some kind of way. I've known people who've been strippers. I know people who this and that and the third. What she didn't like about the girl was just overly flirtatious with everybody. So she's like, look, we're all here. But you don't have to be like, I'm going to flirt with this one and the one you're talking to and the one over there and this one.
But it's
like,
a competition.
It is a competition. And that's what people, you know, I guess that's how both of them felt differently. One felt like this is a competition.
And one's like, this isn't fair.
And one's like, I have marked my territory and you should stay away. You should respect that girl code, you know, that kind of thing. So those are the things.
Girl code when y'all don't know each other, I feel like.
Well, I don't know. I think that it's one of those things where, well, at one point in the house, there was a boy code because when the girl kissed the guy at noon and was in the jacuzzi with another guy approached her and was like, what are you doing? Why did you do that? And she went off. Okay. She was like, who are you to be in my life? Like, I just don't understand what's going on.
Which is true.
Which is true. And then she got mad at him, the guy, because he was like, why did you even tell him that we kissed at noon? And da-da-da-da-da. And, you know, and then the other guy who she kissed in the jacuzzi was like, oh, wait, hold on. What's going on? What happened at noon? Like, what's happening? And so she's like, you messing it up with me and the other guy in case you and I didn't work out. And
I wonder if it's going to be super emotional the whole season because guys are really super emotional, but then like,
it's so funny to see the young guys, even the older ones later on, but especially early on, the young guys, you could see how they're cutting their eye. Like, so say, for example, the woman's out with them, right? They think everything's okay. But then let's say that another woman chooses their guy, the woman's guy, to go on a date with because they keep bringing new people into the house. So a new woman came in the house and they said, okay, first impression, who do you want to go out with? And she was like, well, I don't know who's already with anybody, but I'm picking this person. Well, this person was with somebody else before somebody came into the house. So therefore that guy, it's Joey. So Joey goes on a date with Kim, I think is her name. But then the girl that he was dating is sitting at home like, I can't believe that this is happening, but you know, like whatever. So maybe I need to build a relationship with somebody else because if he really likes her, you know, so then it becomes, you just get in your head, right? So then when Joey comes back from the date, he didn't say anything specifically to the first girl that he was talking to, woman, I guess I should say. So therefore she's like, well, I guess we're done. Let me go holler at the next guy. And he's like, wait, hold up. Why are you hanging out with that guy? I just came home from a date. I was just planning to, like, I'm tired. I was just going to sleep. I thought you and I were going to get breakfast in the morning. Like, you know, so it's all these weird dynamics where you just think, oh, this is done.
It's too many emotions.
Exactly. And then it's like, no, it's not done. It's just that it was a lot going on. And I didn't think that you would feel comfortable with me coming back from a date and then like hanging out with you. And that would be disrespectful to her. And I'll just catch you in the morning.
It's
and then
disrespectful to you too.
It's kind of crazy. So, and then it's like, oh, well, I'm going to hang out with you. But then new people show up. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now that this new guy
swapping
showed
people
up,
out?
It's like, well, initially it ended up being where it was like 10 people, 10 guys. Then they brought in a 7th woman. Then they brought in 2 more guys. So it's 12.
Okay.
Then finally I'm at the stage where they just said, okay, if you don't, here was the task. Hello, ladies. You need to go and have a sexy boudoir photo shoot. Send it sext to the guy or guys that you're most interested in. So they go and send that sext to the guy or guys that they were most interested in. If you're interested in one, great. One person gets the picture. That guy knows, hey, I'm the only one that she's interested in. Perfect. I kind of got my thing. Then it's like, oh, she sent her picture to 2 guys. Now these 2 guys,
so they'll be able to see who.
Well, they just know their phones ding. So like one guy's phone dinged, and then the British young guy's phone didn't ding, but they both like the same girl. So he was just like, man, I can't believe I didn't get a picture. And the other guy was like, all I know is I got a picture, you know, that kind of thing. So when you didn't get a picture, you just felt some kind of way because you thought, oh, I have a connection with somebody. Now, a few people didn't have a connection with anybody, like that shy, quiet guy.
Yeah.
he didn't have a connection with anybody. He was just building a relationship with his dad, it seemed like the whole season, you know? So therefore it was like, okay, there you go, you know? And plus, once you had 10 men in the house and 6 women, or even 7, it's like, it's so many people who could get with somebody else that it's like, it has to be some odd men out. You know what I mean? And so there, and some of the women with 2. So therefore it makes even more odd men out, because it's like, I'm dating a father over here of one guy and a son over here. I mean, you know, of somebody else, you know? So it's like that. And so what ended up happening, they even had weird things like tantric yoga with a father and son and one woman. Like, it was weird. They always have to do something that's extremely uncomfortable. Thankfully, that was the father and son that are super, super close. Like, they're like best friends. But even then, when the father was doing a pose and then the son had to do a different, it looked like Twister between a bunch of different people. And then the son was like, I'm just looking at the ceiling. I'm just looking at the ceiling. Like, I'm not looking at my dad posing with this woman in an erotic way, so to speak. So it was interesting.
It sounds interesting.
It is a train wreck.
I must say, you love a train
wreck. And
I'm
here for it. I'm here for it. So, in the most recent episode, some new guys showed up on jet skis. And that threw everything off, because then, well, it's 2 different things happened. So all of the men are like, who are these jabrowskis showing up late? Yeah, jabronis. Okay, showing up late, acting like, you know, they can just come in here and steal our women, you know, like, and it's like, really, dudes? But they all got there together and nobody felt that way. But because somebody's coming in so late after they've established, they're like, we're not going to get with you.
We have made a whole team here.
Yep. And the guys are all friendly with each other, all of those things. Even if they are competing against the same person, they're like, look, let the best man win, period, you know? But these new guys are just like, I'm not here to make friends. I could care less. One of the guys is like an oil millionaire. I don't think he's a billionaire, but he's like in the oil and something industry. So he's from Texas. And then his nephew came. So it wasn't a father-son. It was a nephew uncle, and based on that, but they're like father son, and so based on that, some of the guys are like, no, that's not fair. Like, I have to be here with my dad. Like, I can only do so many things. Like, I had to do a strip tease against my dad. That was one of the challenges. Whereas you doing it against your uncle, you can have fun with your crazy uncle. You know what I mean?
It sounds like a Royal Caribbean cruise.
If you know, you know. It sounds like a quest game at a Royal Caribbean cruise. Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's a good point. But anyway, that is MILF Manor 2. I'm here for it. Oh, and the next episode, because again, the season's not over. The next episode will be 2 new women showing up. So how do the women feel when new women come into the game late? Because they were giving all the goo-goo eyes to the new guys who came in late.
And the 45-year-old lady is not the youngest anymore.
Oh, she won't be. I already saw the commercial. They were showing a silhouette of somebody and like her turning her head, and she was definitely in her 20s. She is.
Oh, they're gonna bring some 20s in.
That at least one of them. At least one of them.
And then the dads are gonna go crazy. Then that's really going to be the competition.
Yeah, because one girl was already in that room I told you about with a guy. Well, the lady was in the room with a guy with a father. So 2 around the same age were in that room, and he had made her dinner, and they've been hanging out and cuddly on the couch, and everybody's seeing them as a couple. Well, then the new woman shows up, and they already showed the preview, and the new lady. The guy is talking to the new lady. You don't see her, but you know that he's talking to her. And you see the older, the previous lady, and she's like, if he makes her dinner, I am going to be pissed. And the first thing comes out of his mouth, I can't wait to cook you some Italian meal, and she just was like crying and all this kind of stuff. So it's just like, oh my gosh, y'all met these people like 3 minutes ago.
But you ain't known these people a whole 24 hours.
But you feel as though you're making a connection. Yeah. But she has to also realize is that you were talking to the uncle hanging out when he showed up, or even if it wasn't for long, but you were still engaging with the uncle and making him feel bad. So why wouldn't he engage with this woman when she shows up just to see if there's anything there? That's what you were doing.
But then also it's like they're only around each other. They can't leave the house to go and like be around anybody else. So it's just always in your face. That's such a mind F. That's horrible.
Exactly. So like,
and you were here for it.
And you just go outside because you want to go throw football with your friend, and the girl that you want to be with is making out in the jacuzzi out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or you go to do whatever, and you walk past that room and you see that some people are already in there, and you're like, wait, I thought that was the person I was building building a connection
That's
with.
my girl in there
Yeah.
with my
Or
dad.
people who got to go on dates, and then you're just sitting there looking all sad because the person's now on a date with somebody and you don't know what's happening on that date.
That's true.
You have a few people who are very confident. One's an MMA fighter, and he's like Chris, and he's just like, look, it is what it is. It's going to be me and Barbie. I'm just telling y'all, it's me and Barbie. You know, whatever's going to happen, it's me and Barbie. So, you know, I'm putting all my eggs in the Barbie basket, you know, and that's just, you know, what it is. Okay. But then you have other people who it's just like, okay, I'm a little more sensitive. You know, I care a little bit more. I'm not that, you know, cocky jock, you know. So, yeah, it's so interesting. I'm fascinated.
Okay, that is great.
Yeah.
Fascination.
Yep. And what is it? Repulsed but intrigued.
Repulsed but intrigued.
Repulsed but intrigued.
I am just repulsed.
All right. What you got, sis?
All right. So I have a couple of things that I just want to go over. Some hot topics and then just one quick thing.
Okay.
So Big Door Prize. The Big Door Prize. It was on Apple TV. Came back for season 2.
Oh, wow.
So
I feel like that was just out.
Yeah, I know, right? Just to go over a couple of things. So Giorgio, he got a boo. New boo. Trina and Jacob, the 2 kids. Their relationship is going good, but then they have a couple bumps in the road, you know.
Okay.
Dusty and Cass, they're our main characters. Their relationship got a little bumps in it too because of the Morpho machine. Father Ruben and wrestling. That's all I'm going to say.
No
Father
idea
Ruben
what
and
that
wrestling.
is. Okay.
Yeah. Hannah and what she knows and where she came from. That is a good story right there. Blue dots. Blue freaking dots everywhere.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, well, you got to watch the show.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Bo Kovac, he's a sheriff. He got a love interest, and he wants to be a ice skater. So much going on with him. And then you got Ismina, who is the mother of Cass, who is like the mayor.
Okay.
She got a new boo too. So this is the year of the boos.
The year of the boos.
For a Big Door Prize.
Okay.
So if you want to see that, that is on Apple TV. It is season 2. Check out season 1 as well. All right. So just to go over some stuff because you had touched on this and I want to retouch on this.
Okay.
Corey Harris.
Yes.
I'm actually pulling into the parking space. Actually. Where my doctor actually is.
Yeah, my doctor's office actually when I am on a suspended license, Corey.
Yeah, so, get this.
Okay.
So, after all that happens, he goes online and he was like, the way that I am... Oh, he was interviewed. That's what it was.
I was going to say, he's supposed to be in prison. I mean, in jail.
Yeah, so he did do his 3 days in jail.
Oh, it was only 3. Oh, well, all right.
So he was like, this is just so bad. He was like, the things that I do for this community and for my church community and blah, 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 blah. He was like, it was some child support issues that was supposed to have been cleared up. So I was supposed to have already had my license reinstated, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So then people was like, man, that's horrible. Like everybody was just going off on him. Like you weren't even supposed to be driving, but it's like, bro, like you're like, that's why he didn't phase him while he was like, no, I'm actually just driving into the doctor's office because he already thought his license was reinstated. He's trying to fight the suspended license.
Right. But your license doesn't get reinstated until you have fought for your reinstatement, right?
So apparently his license was suspended from back child support. Mm-hmm. He paid it, thought it was reinstated when he got pulled over, and they said your license was revoked or suspended. He thought, no, this has already been cleared up. So his lawyer was like, yeah, it's supposed to be cleared up. That was a lie as well.
I was
too many things. Yeah, no. That was a lie. That was all on TV. People was apologizing to the man. Everything. It was like he's an idiot.
You sound like Jerry Springer. That was a lie.
That was a lie. Yeah. Yeah. So what ended up actually happening is they found out he's never had a license. Ever
in life.
Ever.
And he's just driving around.
Yeah.
So you never had a license and you think so that makes it even worse that he was driving a car when he knew in his lifetime he's never had a license. So you're showing up for court for having a suspended quote unquote license.
While you driving.
And you are driving. Like that should have been like, just show up late after you parked and standing outside the car.
Yeah.
But even then, I mean, it was meant to be because he shouldn't be on the road.
Yeah. So there was a lot of back and forth. He lied, then he lied, then he lied.
Yeah.
So that was it. Another hot topic, Rihanna.
Okay.
Miss Fenty herself has a new hair care line that she is dropping on June the 13th. But a lot of people are talking about this with Fenty hair. A lot of people are talking about it, saying that when she came out with her original advertisement for it.
Okay.
It looked like she had a wig on. So it was like, oh, is she making wigs? Like, what's going on with that? But then she had another one where she was just doing hair care products, and that was her thing. So now it's like, is she doing wigs and hair care products? Is she just doing hair care products? Like, what's going on? So people are trying to figure out what's going on with that. I really don't care which one it is. Let her get her money.
Shmoney.
Let her get her shmonies. Another thing is, okay, so there is something going on, viral thing that is on the TikTok.
Okay.
So it's a wife versus the ex that's on the deathbed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So what it is that this woman's husband is like, hey, I'm trying to go see, my ex. She's on her deathbed. She's about to die, so, some things I want to tie up with her, and, I want to go and talk to her and stuff like that. And the wife's like, no, she about to die. She could be dead right now.
Wait, whose wife and wife? It's two wives?
No, his ex-wife.
So, I'm so
His
confused.
ex-wife is about to die.
Okay, so somebody's ex-wife is about to die. And
he tells his wife, hey, I'm going to go to the hospital and say my goodbyes.
Oh.
And the wife is like, no, you're not. What? No.
I gotcha.
Why do you think that you're going to go?
Why do you think you need to go see?
Why do you
your
think
ex-wife?
that I would be okay with that? Like,
Well, why isn't she okay with that? How insecure are you that you are threatened by a woman who is dying?
Exactly. So that was the whole thing, but I'm trying to get
I mean, that would be me. I would be like, look, I don't want you to have any regrets when she's gone. I don't want you wishing and hoping and praying that you had said something, and now it's messing up our relationship after she's gone.
No, she's nowhere near that. So let's she's nowhere near mature enough.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's how I would be. That's what I was saying. Me, not her.
But let me play this right now.
Go down there, you out. If you go down there,
That's not the one.
I need to get some stuff on my chest. And that's my first love, you know that.
get some stuff off your chest. Like what?
I mean, that's my first love, and I know I brought through some stuff.
What that got to do with you going down there? It's no reason for you to go down there and unleash that. She about to die.
And I can't see her?
No. You my husband.
I understand that, but we have a kid together.
And send her down there.
So after she go, who's gonna take care of Cameron?
Ain't you the daddy?
That's what I'm saying. That's what you know.
But that don't got nothing. But that doesn't have anything to do with you going down there, unleashing all of your old storylines and trying to clear your conscience. No.
That's my child's mother.
Okay, that's fine. I understand that's Cameron is going to be fine. You need to be tending to her.
Okay, but he may or may not have a mother again. That's a kid we're talking about.
I understand this. I understand. Look, I'm trying not to be insensitive, but at the same time, I don't understand why you have to go down there and try to talk to her. She's about to die. Let it go.
If not me, who else?
She don't need to hear you and your cheating stories right before she died. That's not even fair. Why would you want to do that?
I need to go see her.
Look, if you go down there and see her, we gonna have a problem.
Why we gonna have a problem? Okay, how many times I gotta explain that to you? And my first love, and
This does not even feel real.
Yeah, no.
Is it?
I'm so sorry. But
know.
you go down there, we gonna have a problem.
I feel like it's a skit.
I feel like it's a skit too, but a lot of people are weighing in on this, and a lot of people are
course.
like, "Oh, I know that's right. He don't need to be going down there." But then some people are like, "Well, that's his child's mother, so
yeah, but
he should go and pay his respects and be there for his child." Then some other people was like, if he did her dirty, she don't want to see him on his deathbed." There are so many different comments.
Well, it sounds like to me that she know he did dirt because he was doing dirt with her.
Yeah,
while he was
exactly.
with the
She don't
woman.
want to
So
hear
they-
about your cheating stories
Yeah,
on
exactly.
her deathbed.
Right.
Oh,
With
yeah,
me.
with me. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know about that one.
I think that is. So that was something that has been going around, and
because really, when he said Cameron, I thought that she was calling Cameron a girl, and he was calling Cameron a guy.
I did notice that.
So I was like, wait, you don't know if it's a boy or a girl,
Cameron?
Cameron? What's going on here? So I think it might be a little. I don't know,
but I mean, it could be fake.
It could be something that people, just they did it for the gram or whatever.
They could have been like, let's reenact what these fools just was arguing about.
Yeah,
beside us at the Sizzler.
and see if it will. Yeah,
beside
if it will
beside us at Golden Corral.
Right, exactly. It's almost like I was looking at something on TikTok where it was portrayed as a mother and daughter, and the mother had dementia, so the mother was always trying to get out the house and like walk down the street, and she was like, "I'm heading to Texas," and she was like, "Mom, we're in Oregon," and she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to Texas," and she would just walk, and then it was like, I don't know, like 20, 30, 40 videos of that. And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, is that really her mother? Like, does this woman really have dementia? And all of it wasn't true. It was just they were doing it. But they said it was from a perspective of showing awareness and tips and tricks that you could do to help. They were coworkers. And so, therefore, it was like, no, like, this is how she would just, like, say certain things to get her mom to turn around and come back to the house and all that kind of stuff. So they were like, we were doing it from a perspective. But some people were very frustrated that they were pretending that somebody had dementia.
They had to do a disclaimer.
Yeah, well, they had to make their own video to say that this is not real. Yeah. So but I get it.
I mean, I mean, whatever works for them. If they get some likes and dislikes, that's cool. It gets it thrown all around the internet. But if that was a real situation, she got to go.
Yeah, I couldn't be. I mean, look,
you gotta leave that Jezebel.
You can't be upset at somebody
who's
wanting to spend a little, like, a last moment. Now, some people might be like, look, I care for that person deeply. I do not want anything ill to happen to them. However, I don't need to see them. We've spoken our piece. We're good to go. We're done.
Exactly.
And then you can have other people who are like, no, I just need to be there. Like, I just need to, be there.
And then there are some people who are like, can I pull the plug?
Oh my gosh.
You're right about that. Some people like that.
You're right about that.
And I need to double check their life insurance policy and make sure I'm good. There's some people out there like that. So just a couple of hot topics along with the Big Door Prize. Yeah. So that's all I had. What do you have next, sis?
Well, I was going to say a hot topic that came out this week was the reunion of Sister Act. The two. Yeah, Sister Act, folks. So we had on The View, Sister Act, the movie with Whoopi Goldberg, and how you had different people in there acting like Lauryn Hill and all that, which Lauren isn't in this, wasn't on the show today, but. La, 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 la.
Come here, stand right here.
I know, that's her moving him ahead right now. She's literally telling him at this moment, come stand right up here at the exact same moment. Okay, so you have that song, which was great. Oh, Happy Day. They sung that. She had her whole habit on, the whole.
That's what it was. Shebang. Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
Back in the Habits.
There you go. Back in the Saddle. What am I thinking?
What was the saddle doing with the horns, right?
I knew it was back in something.
Yeah, exactly. And so you had that song, and then you had this song. Speed it up here. All right. So anyway, that was and then it went into what have you done for me lately? Oh, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it was that. Yeah. And then it was like it went into so many things. You down with G.O.D.? Yeah, you know me. Yeah. Cause in the corner, the night of the corner, with the money coming down. Yeah, exactly. So, Sister Act, Back in the Habit. They did a reenactment. Supposedly, Tyler Perry is supposed to be, which I'm like,
can we get Shonda?
Somebody. But anyway,
Shonda
he's supposed to be getting
Jordan
the right.
Peele.
He said he was getting the right writers.
Oh,
so it's not him.
Good.
Getting the right writers to do Sister Act 3. But they brought all these old cast members back. So everybody who you just heard singing are the original singers who sung those particular songs. And then like the front line, if you look at this on YouTube, the front line are all the people who were in the movie. And then the back line are like a bunch of other, people
Singers,
who just are showing up to sing as the
You know
chorus.
what? Wait.
But Lauryn Hill wasn't there.
Because somebody said that Rita told her she
couldn't sign that slip.
Couldn't do it.
But the funny thing
trying
is,
to sing yo shoulda coulda woulda.
But this song right here, Shirley Ralph is singing in the
it.
choir.
Yeah, no,
so I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
but I forgot what I was saying. I don't know either. It's okay.
Oh yeah, sorry about the Rita. You were saying somebody had said, like it was like some male person that you were getting ready to say.
Somebody had said.
I thought, but anyway, I digress.
I don't
so.
remember.
That was something I wanted to add to the hot topics was that.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I thought that was really cool and amazing. And at the very end of the whole thing, Whoopi Goldberg got very emotional.
Yeah, I did see it.
Yeah, so she just started like crying a little bit because I guess it's like, it's good memories. You can see now how these young kids, they were teenagers.
It was her first movie with her daughter, too,
and
right?
grew up. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, so it's like all of these different, aspects of it all. I think the emotions just started flooding in and she was just feeling really, emotional about it. And now I will say that Whoopi looked very skinny.
Yeah.
In
is
this
that Zimpy?
video.
Is that
think
Zimpy?
It might be Ozempic.
She a little Zimpy.
Or some Mangiano. Or some Wako. What is it called now? Wakovi. What is it called? Wagovi. Wagovi.
I don't know what that is.
Mangiano.
I only know Zimpy.
Ozempic.
I only know Zimpy.
It's one of the trifecta.
Okay.
And
well, maybe it's all three.
And then, so I think that, so I was just looking at it like, oh, Whoopi looks kind of thin, like not Oprah thin.
Yeah, but her face did look thin in it because I was like, is this old?
The hammock looked thin, like all of it looked thin. But no, it literally came out on
the habit.
Habit. Sorry, the
hammock. I was supposed to say here. I said, wait, did she say hammock?
The Habit, when she had it on her, it looked thin. And even when like people were hugging her and stuff, I was like, oh yeah,
she looks small.
She looks smaller. Like she's probably lost at least 50 pounds.
Man,
to
be a celebrity and be on Ozempic.
Well, let's just say the Ozempic or craze, then maybe that needs to be a topic at some point because I have been seeing so much about it in so many different places and people are like doing TikTok videos about it, but TikTok's slamming down on it and they're saying you can't even say it. They'll shut you down.
Oh, that must be why that must be why Kev on stage said Zimpy today.
Oh yeah,
when I listen to him and that chick Angel.
Yeah.
He
was can't say
she
it.
said, "Oh, you look a little zimpy today." He said, "No, this is all me. I'm in the gym 5 times a week."
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. But so you
zimpy.
can't talk about it. You can't market it. You can't do any of that for some reason. I don't know why. There's a thing where you can't do that. And so therefore, people are trying to be creative. Well, I was scrolling through something while I was on vacation and this girl said, let's talk about, it was like a TV show. Like, let's talk about such and such. And the whole conversation was about that. But on the banner, it said, let's talk about this. So I guess that's like for people who are in the know, that's a code word. Mm-hmm. And then that means you're talking about Ozempic.
Oh,
so I was like, wow, that's interesting. And so, but yeah, that was the whole thing. And people who have lost weight and all that. And now they're saying it's even doing things like helping people with their addictions to certain things. It's stopping what they call food noise, which means that you talk about food and you think about food, like in your head where you eat breakfast
you think about food,
and then you're already thinking, what am I going to eat for lunch and what am I going to eat for dinner? Yeah. Then those are the kind of things that it says it stops. And then it's better for the heart. It's like all these things that everybody is like, and it's been around for 15 years or something. So they're like, we would have known about some stuff. Yeah. So anyway, that's why I think so many famous people are in it. When Weight Watchers started saying we're going to give it away, that's when I was like, okay, wait a minute, hold up, what's going on?
Weight Watchers giving what away?
I mean, I give it away, but it's part of their plan now that you can get on Ozempic.
Get out of
or whatever it's called, siglamutide or whatever. It's some other name for it. So anyway, but on that note, we're ending, y'all. Have an amazing week.
Yes.
And, research Ozempic, I guess. Everybody else is doing it. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.